Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel,
Hi everyone,
Erickson.
Ranji.
Today we're going to do a Q&A of our recent videos regarding our trip to the Maldives, but we're going to do it mukbang style.
Woo.
We're going to try this new restaurant offering plant-based food called Green Apron. We actually ordered almost everything in their menu except for those that are not vegan,
Such
specifically the enchilada because they don't have vegan cheese. We'll answer your questions regarding our trip. The questions came from our YouTube channel, Erickson's and Ranji's channel, as well as from our other social media account, specifically my IG account, Erickson Eustaquio. That's my handle. And then also coming from our friends and relatives in our personal Facebook accounts.
Private messages, direct messages.
Okay, so let's start.
Let's start.
With the starter. The Green Apron has only one starter, I think. Let me check. What's that?
What do you call this?
That's the mushroom fries. Can you show them to the mushroom fries? Oh, there's actually, I don't know if that's, yeah, this is the mushroom fries.
Oh.
It's supposed to come with wasabi mayo, but since that's not vegan, that's good. So let's start with the Q&A.
First question.
First question is, how many days did you spend in the Maldives? A total of 9 days. We were there, actually including travel time. Sorry. So we were there for 6 days, 5 nights. We left April 23, almost midnight flight.
Red-eye flight.
Red-eye flight. And then we arrived in Dubai at around 4 a.m. local time, but we had a 21-hour layover. So fortunately, as I said in our video, Dubai gave us a complimentary hotel stay for the entire 21 hours.
Just to clarify, I think there are two types of free accommodations or for the passengers. If you're taking economy class, you're allowed lounge access to their transit lounge. And for business class and first class passengers, usually you're given the option to have hotel stay, whether inside the airport or outside the airport in the city itself. But this time, I think, given the COVID situation, transit passengers are only allowed to stay within the hotel inside the airport.
Okay, so our flight to the Maldives was actually early morning of Sunday, which was April 25. So I think that was 3 a.m. So we stayed in the hotel from the morning of the 24th until the early morning of the 25th. So our flight to Maldives, to Male International Airport, arrived at around 7 a.m. So we were in the Maldives from April 25 to April 30, 6 days in all. So we left the Maldives at in the afternoon at around 4 p.m. Then arrived in Dubai at around 8 p.m. local time. And then our flight to Manila was around 2 a.m., 3 a.m. And then we arrived in Manila at around 4 p.m. of May 1. So a total of 9 days. We actually, our trip was supposed to be way before that, before April 23, but we kept on rescheduling because of the different rules. Different rules on the lockdown.
Closer to my birthday.
In the Philippines, Supposedly it was closer to his birthday, March 17, but it became closer to my birthday, which was May 8. So there. So how about we try, but this is good, right? I like the...
Yummy.
I thought it was going to be mushroom with potato or whatever, but it's entirely mushroom.
What's the texture like? Calamares, no?
Calamares texture,
Yeah.
That's right. Maybe if they had a vegan version of the wasabi mayo, then this will be perfect. A perfect snack or an appetizer.
Okay. What do you want to try next?
Next, we'll try the second item in their menu, which is the chickpea mushroom sandwich.
Okay.
Let's show them again. Yeah. So while we eat that chickpea mushroom sandwich, we answer the second question. Why did we choose the Emirates route? Because the Maldives is actually closer to the Philippines than Dubai. So why did we choose to go to Dubai first, then to Maldives? Maybe you can answer that question.
Our original route was via Singapore. But Singapore Airlines had fewer options when it comes to their flights to Maldives. I think they only do it several times a week, not every day. Unlike other Middle Eastern airlines, they have several flights to, at least two flights from there. For Dubai, or for Qatar, it's Doha. For Dubai, they have two flights for Emirates and another one for their subsidiary, their low-cost airline, Fly Dubai.
So we actually had only three choices back then, right? It was actually Sing Air, Dubai, Emirates, I mean, and then Qatar. And price-wise, it was actually Emirates that's the best among the three. But actually, we really considered Sing Air, but since we were forced to reschedule, the Singapore flights were no longer available, and it was if there were available flights, it became so expensive.
Yeah.
And the first time we went to the Maldives, we went there via Singapore. It's actually really very. It's shorter than going to Dubai.
It makes more sense at that time because 4 hours going to Singapore,
Yeah,
then
3.5 hours going to Singapore, and then 4 hours, 4.5 going to Maldives. Unlike when you go to Dubai, it's 8 hours, 9 hours going to Dubai, and then 4.5 hours, 4.5 hours going to Mali.
okay. To answer the question, I think primarily two factors. First is the price, and second probably the schedule, the flexibility to choose on different schedules because of the possibility of having the flights canceled or rescheduled.
So among the three, it was Emirates that's actually the most flexible.
Yeah.
And the rules for transit passengers were actually more reasonable in Emirates than in Singapore. Although we wanted Singapore because we wanted to feel the security, the sense of security and safety because we're traveling during the pandemic, right?
And I think
It's good.
the other factors were the inclusions in the Emirates.
Yeah. Okay, maybe you can explain that.
Other than we mentioned the first one earlier, the accommodation. If you're staying at least 10 hours, and the other one they have the insurance, travel insurance
For free, right?
for free. It's included in your ticket,
And
and
lounge access. Because for business class passengers, Sing Air, specifically for Filipino travelers, we're not allowed to use the lounge. Unlike in Emirates, we were able to access the lounge. And of course,
Correct.
besides that, we were given the airport hotel.
yeah, at that time when we were supposed to use Sing Air, the plan for the usual method for transiting passengers, especially coming from the Philippines or other select countries, they only allow you to stay in a particular cordoned area for the transit passengers. And if you're unlucky to have, like, let's say 10 hours of transit at least, then you're stuck there for 10 hours. You can't go to the shops, you can't go to the other restaurants.
And one thing more, you can't even go around the airport for Sing Air. You're just stuck in that area. Unlike in Dubai, you were able to go around and we're able to shop, to do some shopping on our way back to the Philippines. The chickpea mushroom sandwich. This is good. Yes, I agree. As well as the fries, of course. The next
And
dish
question.
is the enoki mushroom tempura over cauliflower.
This one.
Chahan? Chahan?
Chahan. I
Chahan.
think it's rice. I think chahan is rice.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. This one, right?
Yep. Show them.
Ooh, looks
That's
good.
enoki. Of course, we have to factor in the delivery time because it has tempura will
Let's move.
definitely become soggy in time. So
Okay.
and this is the
And while you're preparing that, what's your next question?
the next question is quarantine. Did we were we required to quarantine when we arrived in Dubai and in the Maldives?
No quarantine for Dubai. Just need the PCR test.
During check-in in NAIA Terminal 3 for Dubai, you're required to show the negative PCR result within 72 hours from the time of departure. So that's the only requirement for transit passengers,
Correct.
Filipino transit passengers going through or passing through Dubai and going to Maldives. And in Maldives,
You also have to bring your PCR test with you. I think that test should have been taken for Maldives. For Dubai, it's 72 hours prior to your departure. For Maldives, it's 92?
96.
Yeah, 92 or
Anyway,
96 hours.
I gave the link of the requirements in the first video, so you watch our first video, and there's the link down in the comment section about the requirements of Dubai and Maldives.
So Maldives, there's no quarantine if you're just a tourist and you have a booked resort stay.
Upon arrival in Maldives, in Mali International Airport, you have to go to your resort within 24 hours. Otherwise, there's a different rule. Of course, these rules are ever-changing. So we suggest you visit the Emirates website because they provide you the rules for countries where they have flights going to or from such country to Dubai. Yeah. And upon for returning to the Philippines, there's no requirement for a negative PCR test for passengers going to the Philippines. Hence, for transiting in Dubai, we were not required to show any test. Of course, we know that upon arrival in the Philippines, you're required to go to the quarantine hotel, and then in the quarantine hotel, you have to stay there for 7 nights, which on our case was actually just 6 nights because the results came in on the 7th day, right?
Correct.
But you were required to do the PCR test on your 6th day. So we arrived May 1, that's day 1. And then May 6, we were tested in the morning, and I think the results came in late that day also. So we were able to check out from the hotel, which was our choice of quarantine hotel was Seda Hotel at BGC. So we were able to check out from our hotel May 7, the usual checkout time.
But at that time, you're required to actually book 7 nights. 7 nights. But if you're at that time, I think they changed it now. Once your results come out and the Bureau of Quarantine issues the certificate to the hotel that you're allowed to go out. So if the results come out on the 6th day, you're allowed to go and take your quarantine in your LGU.
This is also good,
Yeah.
except that it's kind of oily, I guess. Maybe it's because most tempuras are actually oily. But because it's on top of a cauliflower rice, I think some of the oil was absorbed by
And I think it's also the nature of enoki.
Yeah, we've tried enoki tempura in from other restaurants, and it's actually the same consistency and the same problem of being oily, but it's good. The taste wise, it's
Yeah, I agree. Good.
Sarap, no? Lahat masasarap.
So far, no?
So our next dish is, what's the name? Tofu bulgogi over kimchi fried rice. Show it. So far, 3 out of 3.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yummy dish.
So the next question is, how's Dubai Airport? So how's Dubai Airport?
Initially, we thought it was deserted when we got there, only because we arrived at the quieter portion of Terminal 3,
The sea gates.
Sea Gates.
Yeah, the sea gates.
And I don't know. I haven't been to Dubai for the longest time. Probably last time 10 years ago, 10 or 9 years ago. I'm not sure if pre-pandemic that portion of the Terminal 3 was quiet. But in this case, when we were there, it was eerily quiet. But when we crossed
To the B gates.
the big gates,
That's a different story.
yeah, it was
There
like
were a lot
normal.
of people, like normal days, right?
Yeah.
Pre-pandemic.
For me, I think it's quieter than usual. Only because Dubai is known for being a very busy airport. So it's there are a lot of people, but
Of
it's
course,
quieter.
compared to Naiya Terminal 3
Yeah.
and the area where the sea gates are, it's more packed. So we were kind of
Yeah. And
nervous,
there were
I guess.
yeah, but
at
even
first.
in terminal in the in the big gates, there were pockets of quiet areas. So I don't think that you can see that in Dubai normally.
But since we missed the airport, we liked it.
Yeah.
It was surreal going back to the airport, going to duty-free shops and to the business class lounge.
And when you go there, usually only the Asians are wearing both face shield and face mask in the airport.
I think we were the only ones wearing the face shield.
Oh yeah, Filipinos actually.
How about this one? I think it's good. Taste-wise, again, it's good. But I have the same problem. Now this is no longer a tempura, but I find it a bit oily. Yeah, but the taste is good, and
Probably the oil has settled after
yeah.
several hours.
And I was expecting a lot more vegetables, I guess, because it's kimchi fried rice.
Yeah.
So this is just rice and tofu and some onions, I guess.
Yeah.
So I was actually expecting more greens.
Not bad.
But,
Yeah.
but since we have 3 more dishes, 1 dessert, 2 dishes, I'm okay with the kimchi fried rice.
But as you can see, this is my favorite. I keep on going back to this mushroom.
Me too. Imagine this freshly cooked and crispier. Perfect. So the next question first, and introducing to the next dish first.
Okay.
Tofu kapro. Tofu
What's that?
kapro. I don't know what kapro means. Maybe I'll Google it later. So that's it. Looks similar
See?
to our previous dish, the tofu with kimchi fried rice. Tofu bulgogi with kimchi fried rice. So
Looks similar. Yeah.
the rice for that one is kimchi fried
Kimchi.
rice.
This one.
This is just, I think, white rice. Unlike the first one we had was the enoki mushroom. It has cauliflower rice. Okay, try it. And the next question is cost. How much did our trip cost? So going to the Maldives is not. I mean, it's kind of expensive, yes, but maybe because we were the agent that we were able to contact, Purely Maldives, they required a down payment of $200, and then you lock in the price. It was a reasonable price, so we were able to lock that price, even though we actually booked the hotels just a week before our flight, because it kept on moving. We were actually sending the dates to our agents, and they were relaying it to the resort. And most of the dates, actually all the dates that we provided our agent were they had availability for those dates. However, we kept on moving those dates, but unfortunately the hotel rooms were available at the time, and we were only actually able to confirm a specific date, April 25, a week before.
Yeah. But we were able to lock in the dates like 6-8 months before our actual trip, just by paying $200 as deposit.
Lock in the dates?
Lock in the price. Lock in the price. So we paid sometime, I think, July?
The deposit.
The deposit last
And
year.
we only paid the balance
Yeah.
only a week before.
I found this agent in TripAdvisor.
Spicy.
So, yeah.
This is spicy.
Electric.
Oh, it has green chilies.
But do you like spicy food in general? Even without, I mean, if you didn't have that.
Not that spicy, mild spicy.
You just have to save when you go to Maldives.
Yeah. And it also depends on the resort.
No.
Definitely, because the first time we were in Maldives, it was a lot cheaper, but the resort was a lot bigger. It caters to groups,
Yeah. Families.
children, yeah. And now we chose a smaller smaller resort because, of course, we didn't want to have many interactions with other people. One,
Yeah.
we didn't want crying children. So this Milaidu Island Resort has this rule that only children above 12 years old, I think, are allowed. So the next food that we have is actually a Filipino traditional food, vegan style. This is crispy kare-kare. I think those are soy meat.
So, me?
And it came with extra sauce for the kare-kare. Because here it looks dry on top, but actually at the bottom it has sauce.
Yeah.
This also is over rice.
Should I pour the...
Yeah, why not? Would you recommend Milaidu? That's the next question. As I've said a while ago, yeah, actually, because we were looking for, we had specific requirements, and Milaidu is able to comply, I guess,
Satisfy
to
those
tick
requirements, yeah.
to tick the boxes. You chose Milaidu, so
Yeah.
why did you choose?
We wanted to find a smaller resort, quieter resort, and at least I think I knew back then that there will be some kind of restrictions as to the number of guests. And true enough, when we were there, out of the 50 villas, there were only 25 villas occupied at that time, and roughly 50 guests. So, yeah.
And while we see the other guests whenever we have breakfast or lunch, it never felt
crowded.
Yeah. Especially during our dinner in the in Bateli. Yeah, there were only 4 tables of guests. I mean, only 4 tables were occupied.
Yeah,
during the time we had
even
dinner
when
there.
we had dinners in the main restaurant, I think there were just 10 tables, and all were outside al fresco.
Maybe that's another question. How did our package go? We had a gourmet plan. It actually simply means full board, except that you can only avail of drinks and food in the restaurants. You cannot consume the food in your mini bar. Maybe that's the way for them to push the people to go to their restaurants.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I think actually the full board means you get all the meals. But
and
when
they were
exclusive, when you say it's inclusive or a gourmet plan, it's meals plus drinks. So normally when you go to like different hotels and they choose, you get to choose the plans for you that you want. It's either breakfast only, half board meaning just breakfast and dinner, full board it's all meals, and also all inclusive meaning all other meals plus drinks. So in our case, we thought that it would be better if we just take the all inclusive.
which means breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
And then drinks.
But
However, there's only a specific list of drinks for those who are on full board, of course. Just like in any other full board plans in other resorts, in other hotels. But I think the selection is good. And as I've said in our last video, they were able to provide us with our requirements, our dietary requirements. We are both vegans, and so the vegan food they prepared for us were actually good.
In all restaurants.
All restaurants. And also, for the Bateli dinner and the Stone Grill dinner, it's actually, you cannot go there every day. For the Stone Grill restaurant, I guess you can only go there once every 3 days.
Once every 3 nights.
3 nights, and then for the
Bateli, once every 4 or 5 nights.
One every four nights. So for the other restaurants such as the Compass Bar and the Ocean Bar, you can go there anytime you want, and then as many times as you want during the day. That's the only restriction for the Bateli and for the Stone Grill restaurant. Kare-kare, that crispy kare-kare is good, taste-wise again. Everything's on point when it comes to taste. So far, everything. But I think since this is supposed to be crispy and because, again, delivery constraints, this is no longer crispy. And so the tofu meat, actually, the vegan meat was actually quite, how do you say that in English? Makunat na.
Yeah.
And it's tough to slice.
To bite.
Yeah.
In hindsight, would you recommend people to take the all-inclusive package?
When we computed for the cost, I think we could have saved more if we just took the half board.
Half board now?
Because we don't eat that much anymore. Comes with age, I guess. But would you recommend Malaidu? Yes, definitely. But for first timers, I guess, and for those who want to go there on a budget, there are lots of choices actually.
Yeah.
You just have to search in Google, TripAdvisor,
even all-inclusive ones.
In the first time we were there, in Chentara, we also had our full board, and drinks in the minibar were actually included that time, and it was more. It was less expensive. It was cheaper than Milaidu, but
there are a lot of guests,
and activities were actually included already. Massages were included, unlike here, where I said in our second video that actually the prices for the spa services were actually quite pricey compared to Philippine prices.
But don't get us wrong, Malaidu is really nice for relaxing. I really liked it. It was really relaxing. The feel of exclusivity when you're there. Even if at 50%, we rarely get to see other guests going back to our rooms. So and I think if your intention is to have some peace and quiet, to recharge and to disconnect from everyone, then we strongly recommend Milaidu.
The only thing that I think I didn't like there is the price of the activities, because if we decided not to avail of the activities anymore because we just wanted to sleep, to rest, to eat, to swim around the villa. But if we decided to avail of the service, the activities, it's actually quite pricey as well. Especially coming from our last trip in the Maldives, where those activities were included already in our package. So that's one.
So far, this is my least favorite.
The kare-kare. But in terms of taste, it's good. Just the texture and the consistency of the soy meat, I guess. And for that's the meal, the starters and the meals. So now we're down to our last food item from Green Apron. For me, as of now, even without tasting the dessert, I would recommend this restaurant, and we're definitely going to order again. Except that we have glitches in the ordering. But I guess that's forgivable considering the taste and the quality of the food.
And
Finally, ginataang bilo-bilo. So for the last question, a friend of mine asked me why vlog only now. Because they know that we've been traveling for several years now, and we've been to 20-30 plus countries all over. And why vlog now, only now? This is actually the most difficult question among the question. So your
I don't
answer
know.
first.
Probably it's the right timing. At that time now we're more focused on what we want.
So in other words, we wanted to gain more experience first,
Yeah.
to have a certain level of authority when we recommend.
Yeah.
That's one. And number two, because we wanted to help other travelers, because traveling during the pandemic is not the same. It's challenging. It's a bit scary. And so we wanted to make a vlog so that other people will know how it's like to travel during the pandemic.
And post-pandemic, eventually in the future.
Of course. And don't get us wrong. This will not be limited to. This will not be a purely travel vlog, because if you can see our channel, I had 2 unboxing videos already there, and then I plan to do more unboxing or product reviews in the future. And this is very good. Again,
Ube.
it's very good.
Ube,
I missed
right?
it. I like it. And we're going to do mukbang also, like this, but it's going to be vegan mukbang for a change, for those who are on a plant-based vegan or vegan diet. So anything else
Are we
to
on
add?
diet?
No. Anything else to add to that
No.
question?
It was. I think it was just the right timing. Then it was just a matter of before. It was just a matter of traveling, not thinking of keeping a record of the process, of the details of our trips. At least for me, I'm sure Erickson.
Yeah, and just the thought of taking videos for purposes of
Yeah.
vlogging and editing at that time was actually the main deterrent why we did not do vlogging before.
Yeah.
But I guess it is what it is, right? So what's our overall assessment of Green Apron?
Out of
Sarap.
5 or 10?
Out of 5.
5? 4.
4.8.
Okay,
Only
so
because-
average is 4.4.
So for around 4.5.
Okay.
So we definitely recommend you try Green Apron.
Yeah. Yummy.
So we hope we answered your questions. And if you have more questions, just comment down below and we'll answer them in the comment section. And you can also suggest to us whatever topics you want us to vlog on.
Yeah.
And please like this video, comment down below, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification button. Until next time,
Bye. Thank you.